Hello, people in the house. Then today, I just want to talk about young people leaving the country, even older people leaving the country too. So immigrating. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. Mainly to Australia, Saudi Arabia, countries like that, Norway, Sweden, them countries. Because Ireland is a very hard country to live in. Let's put it that way. I can't really put it any simpler. It is very hard. It's very tough on people who are coming out of college, who paid heavy money to get an apartment in Dublin or Cork or Limerick, the big cities in Ireland, and they can't get jobs. They can't, like, if they're going on for a teacher, the money for teachers, the money is going to be raised eventually. They're doing tiny bits, let's just put it that way, the government to do, raise the money for young teachers, but it's just rubbish. Like, why would you even bother, to be honest with you? Like, it's a waste of time going to college and you're getting tuppence for it. That's really the thing in this country. And you couldn't blame you. I don't blame. I know one or two young teachers who left to go to Australia and New Zealand. They went to them two Commonwealth countries. They used to be crown colonies. New Zealand and Australia. They didn't want to go. They never wanted. Like, it's 100 miles away from, thousands of miles away from the Republic of Ireland, and they said they had to. It was either that or stay in this country and live on the streets. And they were like, I want to try and make a life for myself. I don't want to live in the country and be dragged down by it. And I suppose in the sense when I was thinking when they said it to me, it was like, I have to agree with you, to be honest, because this country is dragging loads of people down along with it. And it's dragging me down. That's what it is doing. That's what's dragging me down too. But you always have to try and fight. As I say, you have to always try for fight for better conditions. Fight for what you believe is right, I suppose, and that's what I'm doing. Um, but there's so many young people. I know of another woman who went to Norway and her child has autism and a bit of dyslexia, the same thing as I have. Um, and she was waiting for the last 4 years for the Department of Education for anything, and then he was supposed to get support in class, and they never really got anything for the last 4 years. And you know what she was like? That child's father's in Ireland working his ass off. Let's put it that way, to pay for them to go to Norway, the Kingdom of Norway, to get better education. I suppose even to survive, because it's very hard for her to survive, because it's very hard for him to do homework and to concentrate and everything. And that's what they want to a specialist school in Norway. And there was no and really the Department of Education should be really ashamed of themselves, because they literally left Ireland and went to Norway because they waited 4 years for the Department of Education to even they never even bothered to even answer them back. That's the thing. They waited 4 years for response and never got anything, and they were like, we'll go off to the Kingdom of Norway. I fair play to the Norwegian government, that's what I say. At least they have some common sense and a little decency to show people with special needs let's give them assistance. Like, they're not Norwegian citizens. Really, at the end of the day, they didn't really have much of a right to go and annoy the Norwegian government to say we want to go to a Norwegian school for special needs. And they didn't have to take them, but they did. That just goes to show you how good of a government them both the countries have, because they're very strong governments, very, very independent governments that really don't care about any other countries, what they think of them. And they just want to keep their people well and happy. That's the only thing their goals are. That's all the West, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Iceland, really just to keep the people happy. That's really the only goals. They don't really care about profit. That's one thing I like about them. And fair play to her. She went to Norway, and like, if that was me, I would be like to her, we should have went at the start, because literally went 4 years. It's a disgrace. And they said they want to turn to Ireland, but as she said, it's hopeless. She said it's a big change, Norway, because it's a well-being country, and it's all positive. Over here, it's just negative. That's what she's like. And at least they're all positive over there, and they're all like, we can do this, we can do that. And in schools, they're all positive, and in shops, they're all positive and everything. And there's no this negativity like in Ireland, because Ireland is just miserable, to be honest, with just people being depressed because everything's gone in this country nearly. So yeah, that's really what they're. There's so many people leaving, and you couldn't. To be honest, I couldn't blame them. To be honest, I couldn't blame Irish people for leaving, because Ireland's not a place for the Irish anymore, and that's really the thing. That's really the thing to take out of this, because it's just there's no life for anybody in this country now, because life just drains you. Ireland drains the life out of you now. That's really the thing, and that's what I find in myself. I find that we're losing ourselves every day, and you're struggling to keep yourself on the abyss or falling off the Republic of Ireland's edge and jumping on a plane to some other country. But you have to pull yourself back and you have to take a look at your country and just say, this is our country and this is our land and this is what we fought for, and why should we leave now to go to another country? Like, that's really what I would do. I would really die, to be honest with you, than leave Ireland alone. Even though we love to go to Finland and just stay in Finland, because Finland sounds like just one of the best countries in better. Really, I have to admit that Finland's 10 times better than Ireland, and that's the only time you ever hear me admitting that another country is better than Ireland. That's the first time ever I admitted it in my life, that Finland is 10 times better than Ireland. We can go to Finland standards. If we really upped our game, we can go to Finland standards, but we never probably will, because it's a lot of hard work the Finnish government put in. You can really tell they really do put in a lot of hard work in keeping their people happy and everything. So they do put it, they take a lot of effort, but maybe we can get there. Anyway, thank you for watching. I went off topic there for a while. And thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and bye.